All right, everybody. Let me say welcome in to the Nickel, baby. Fifth Ward, baby. We're going back to 1940 when the government came up with the second low-income housing. And it was out here in Fifth Ward, 1940. They bought the first low-income housing to the north side, and it was called Fifth Ward Court. But in 1944, they changed the name to Kelly Court, and which they named it after Mr. A.K. Kelly, who was a black activist out here in Fifth Ward. Now, when they built this in 1940, in 1944, they changed the name to Kelly Court. But now, all the kids here that lived here in Kelly Court in the 1940s and 50s, even the 60s and even the 70s, they all started out elementary school at Crawford Elementary School. And then they went on to Phyllis Wheatley. But in 1950, they all went to Crawford, but then they went to a junior high school, which was called E.O. Smith. And then they went to Phyllis Wheatley, which was located on Market. But the original Phyllis Wheatley in 1927 was right there on the corner of Greg's and Lyons Avenue. Now in 1927, it was on Lyons Avenue. But then in 1928, they had to make it a change because it was once an elementary school that they gave to blacks. And in 1927, it was just so small they had to make room because Phyllis Wheatley was the largest high school in the United States. In fact, they all had to take turns going to school in Phyllis Wheatley in 1927. So they had to add more room to accommodate the students. So they changed it from Lyons Avenue to Gregg Street. But we're talking about the Kelly Court and how much history it brings to Fifth Ward. Let's go and show you Kelly Court, which was the first low-income housing here on the north side. But then in 1999, they changed it from Kelly Court to Kelly Village. So we're live out here in the Nickel. Let's go visit Kelly Court, which is now called Kelly Village. Welcome. Welcome everybody to Fifth Ward, baby. Let's go back to 1940, baby. 85 years ago when they came out here and started building the first low-income housing. And it was on the north side, and it was for blacks. And it was Kelly Court. But here in 1940, this is Green, 3,000 block of Green. And Green used to go all the way through to Jensen Drive. But in 1961, they built the Highway 59 and took a lot of black homes out of here. But now, as we go down this street called Meadow, we're gonna make a U-turn because we're going towards Kelly Court. Okay, now as we go here, as you can see right there, that is 59 coming from Interstate 10. And they took a lot of more black homes out of here in Fifth Ward in 1961 when they built Interstate 10. Okay, now we're going down Green Street. And we're going to 1940 when they built the low-income housing for blacks out of here in Fifth Ward, and it was first called Fifth Ward Court. But in 1944, 4 years later, they named it after A.K. Kelly, and they changed the name from Fifth Ward Court to Kelly Court. And we're going into Kelly Court, which is now called Kelly Village, because in 1999, they changed the name again to Kelly Village. And they made all the courts into village. And the first one they named in 1999 was Kelly Court. And it became Kelly Village. Now let's go through here and show you how Kelly Court looked for 2025. Now see, they had to cut it off here because they built, which was the interchange from I-10 to 59 North. Now when they first built this in 1940, it had a total of 500 units out here for low-income housing people. And that street right up there is Meadow. See, and Meadow Street used to go all the way through too, but they had to cut Meadow off to make room for I-10. All right, we're gonna turn around. We're gonna go back through. We're gonna take the tour through Kelly Court. Welcome everybody to Kelly Court, which is now Kelly Village. As we go through here, and like I said, all the kids in 1940, when they built this low-income government housing, all the kids went to Crawford Elementary School. And when they graduated, they went to Phyllis Wheatley. But in 1950, Phyllis Wheatley moved from Lyons and Gregg to 4900 Market, and they built the first, where they turned it into the first black junior high school, and it was called E.O. Smith. And all the kids from 1950, they all went from Crawford to E.O. Smith and then to Phyllis Wheatley. All right, we're live right out here in the Nickel, baby, 5th Ward, Texas, and welcome to Kelly Village. That was once Kelly Court. Remember, all of these gonna dead end at Meadow, because that's when they cut it off, at Meadow. All right, we're gonna go all the way around, and we're gonna show you where they took a lot of black homes when they built Interstate 10. Now I showed you where they took a lot of black homes when off of Interstate 59, but then they took some more black homes when they built in Interstate 10, y'all. And that's it right there. You're looking at I-10. That's I-10 going west. And the other way is I-10, like we going, is going east. One going towards San Antonio, the other one going towards Beaumont, Louisiana. All right. Yeah, all this is Kelly Court. Now, up there on the other side of Kelly Court is Gregg Street. One side of Kelly Court is Gregg, and the other side is Meadow. And like I say, when they built this in 1940, it was called 5th Ward Court. And in 1944, they changed it to Kelly Court, which was named after a black activist here in 5th Ward, A.K. Kelly. And his body, his grave is right there at Evergreen Cemetery. He is a diehard 5th Ward. And like I say, his body is located right there on Evergreen Cemetery, which is located right there on the corner of Market and Lockwood, which is the oldest black cemetery out here in 5th Ward. Now all of this is Kelly Court. Welcome everybody to Kelly Court. We in the Nickel, baby. Well, somebody had a good little wreck tonight. And like I say, right up there at the front is I-69, better known as Highway 59, and was once called the East Tex Freeway. Okay, we're still going through Kelly Court. Okay, we went back towards Meadow. So we're going to take a U-turn right up here, and we're located at 3118 Green Street. We're going to take a U-turn, and we're going to go back towards Gregg Street. Now the second low-income housing was out here in Fifth Ward, and it was called Kelly Court. Now the third one they built, it was for whites, and it was called San Felipe Court. And then that was the first one they changed from court to village. And then in 1964, they renamed it Allen Parkway Village. Okay, we're going back towards Gregg Street. Welcome to Fifth Ward. Welcome to Kelly Court. Now see, all of this is part of Kelly Court, which is now called Kelly Village. And some of the people who were raised up out here in Fifth Ward went to Phyllis Wheeler, E.O. Smith, and Crawford. This is how your old neighborhood looked today, which is 85 years later. And like I say, that up there is Gregg Street. And as we come out of Kelly Court, and we're here at John Green's. All of this is part of Kelly Court. Like I say, it's gonna dead end at Gregg Street. And all of these is one way in, one way out. They have to fence it off to keep the people from coming in and out of the housing project here. Now see, back in the day they didn't have to have a fence, but due to the fact that crime had picked up in the late 60s, they had to fence it off. And right there is Gregg Street. See, at one time, the fence was not there. People could go in and out, especially with them walking. Because everybody didn't have a car out here, excuse me, in the 50s. So everybody used to have to walk. And saying they would walk from Kelly Court to Gregg without going all the way down the Green. But now, since like I say, time has changed, and number one, Houston have grown and crime have went up because we didn't have as many people here in the 40s and the 50s, even in the 60s. So all of these fences that you see right now was not there. But to protect the residents, they had to have the fences to keep the outside people out. And we're live out here in the Nickel. Fifth Ward, Texas. Now this street will take you all the way out to Gregg Street. And this is, like I say, see all these fences, they didn't have all of this. People could go in and out. But due to the fact crime went up, so they had to fence it off. But back in the early 50s and late 40s, They did not have fences around here. People could walk from Green to get into Kelly Court. They could walk from Meadow to get into Kelly Court. And they could also walk from Gregg to get into Kelly Court. But now they can't. They got to come all the way on out to Greens in order to get to Gregg's. And we're live in the Nickel. Welcome everybody to Fifth Ward. And when they built the new Phyllis Wheatley, they wanted to make sure that it was built right off of Market Street, which would be, now this is Gregg. Now Gregg would take you all the way to Gregg would take you all the way to Liberty Road, y'all. But right now, we're doing the history of Kelly Court. And this was the end of Kelly Court. So, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Our next video would be Fifth Ward.